Welcome into our, well, it seems like my thumbnails are trying to get better. I'm trying to get better at that stuff. It's just complicated for my brain. So oftentimes it takes me a while to get on board with what everybody else is doing. Plus, I want them to look unique versus everybody else's, but it seems like you kind of have to figure out which thumbnails are working first before you go off and make them unique. So I did a little backwards, but today we're going to talk about the marketing stuff that you need to do. And this is really important. So I have some notes as usual, but we also have a fun new toy. So I'll show you guys that later. So when we're working on our LOIs and our website and LinkedIn, there's a few things that we need to do. So hold on, let me get myself set up here. All right, off we go. So it seems like for me, so let me just give you a little background. When we are working on our LOIs and our pitches and our website and our LinkedIn, we're doing all of these things to kind of mix our inbound and outbound marketing. And the idea, hey Marie, welcome in. And the idea that we want to go with here is this Simon Sinek idea. So Simon Sinek said this thing that really resonated with me, and I'm hoping that it'll resonate with you. And it's that basically the quote is that when you show someone, you understand their problems, right? You can explain their problems to them. They automatically think you have the solution. So if you can explain in your LinkedIn copy and on your website that you understand the problems that your ideal clients suffer with, they automatically think you have the solution because they're like, oh, of course they understand our problems, so they know how to solve them. This is really important. So the deal is that when we're kind of going along in our stuff, I found from like my own things over the years and then from other writers and hey, Margaret, welcome in. Margaret, I saw that you changed your name in your picture. So thanks for helping me out with that. Sometimes it's hard for me to remember whose like name it is with all the letters and numbers. Hey, Annie, welcome in. Yes, it is a live party group. I like this, that it's a live party group. Cool. So here's the deal. Let's talk about this. There's a few things that we need to go over. So first we're going to talk about this idea. So we're going to talk about, also we have a fun new toy. So I'm going to show you that if I could get it. I think I have to add some more like rubber bands to it, but yeah, I'll show you guys that. So the deal is that when we're kind of setting up all of our stuff to attract clients, we need to talk about the things that they struggle with most. And those things are both related to creating content and they're related to their audience, right? So we want to attract our clients by showing them that we understand that they struggle with X, Y, Z, A, B, C, and that they're trying to get these type of results, right? So what that means, like, here's a good example. So if I'm going to tell a prop tech client, right, you struggle with explaining your complicated software to leasing agents, consumers, and, like let's say it's focused on restaurant owners, and you really want to get more subscribers, leads, sales, and shares or something like that. What we want to do is connect the thing they struggle with getting the thing they want, right? So most clients kind of have a similar roundabout of things that they need, right? Like number one is sales. So they struggle to get more sales. That's like everybody on the planet, right? Me included. So that's everybody. So when we're talking about things clients want in terms of results, how we're going to write our LinkedIn, how we're going to write our website, in order to do that, we need to focus on, like, number one is always that they're struggling to get more sales, which means they're struggling to build an email list. They're struggling to build subscribers for the email list or for YouTube, or they're struggling to build a following. It means that they are struggling with the messaging of their product, like what they put out there isn't connecting with their ideal audience. It means that the product and service that they have, they don't know how to communicate that through content to attract their ideal audience. They're not getting the clicks, likes, and shares that they want. And let's see, what's another one? When people, like your clients are really struggling, like views is another one. Yeah, we already talked about subscribers. It depends on what channels they're on. So LinkedIn, right? They're struggling to publish enough LinkedIn posts to be a thought leader. They're struggling to do sponsored content, which would help them get into a bunch of different places where their ideal audience is. They're struggling to actually figure out what they want to do in terms of thought leadership in their niche. There's a whole bunch of different things that your clients struggle with. Any of those things you have to pick out specifically for your niche. So for me, a lot of times prop tech is like thought leadership. They're struggling to explain their complicated product to someone, or they're not creating content that serves several different audiences where consumers are very different than real estate agents, which are very different than commercial property owners or whatever. Hey, Vesna, welcome in. Vesna, you can't be late. You can just join. That's the cool thing about a live stream is you can just hang out. You can't be late. You can just come hang out. So the deal is that we can pick any of those things that apply to our different niches, right? And health tech, for example, would be very different than ag tech, right? Agricultural tech, ag tech. And the fintech issues would be very different than, let's say, a food company, or the travel issues, right? The things they struggle with. Let's say I was trying to write for a travel company and they're really struggling to get people to go to a certain destination. Like, let's say this is one of their best destinations and they're just not explaining it well enough. Well, they want to get more email subscribers and more people to read their content so they get familiar with that destination. So every time a trip opens up or a package, they can email their list and say, hey, it's open. And they've already built excitement. Yes, I love the wave. Yes. I don't think Vicky's here, but the wave is always good. So that's the deal. The other part, that's the deal with client pain points. And we're going to write to those saying like, do you struggle with XYZ, right? Do you struggle with getting sales, leads, subscribers, likes, clicks, shares, whatever. The other thing is the other side of that is like, what do they struggle with in terms of content? Is that creation? Do they struggle with speaking to their audience in a friendly way? Like, is their stuff super complicated and they need to make it friendly and easy to understand? Is it something where their content doesn't have like a unique voice so people don't come back to it? Is it that their content is too simple, right? They need to actually do more research. They need to have more stats. They need to have more interviews. Is it that they really struggle with getting the idea of an editorial calendar down, or they struggle with which types of content work best for them? Do they struggle with, like, you go to their website and they have all these different types of content, but it doesn't seem like anyone's interacting with them. They don't actually know that case studies are the best and thought leadership is the best, and they should just get rid of white papers and something else, right? You have to kind of figure out what types of things your niche really struggles with. And this is really important for attracting the right clients. We're going to go back to the Simon Sinek idea. If you can explain their problems to them, right? If you tell them what their problems are, they automatically think you have the solution. So if I can have on my LinkedIn and on my website that I understand that they need these types of content, and to be fair, mine needs an upgrade. So my LinkedIn and my website need an upgrade. It's a living beast. It always needs an upgrade. It's going to need an upgrade for forever. And it's mostly because I've switched to content strategy, so the pain points are different. But the deal is that when you're kind of doing these things, you have to know what's kind of going on, like what's going on in your niche. And you have to figure out a way to explain it that sounds like you, but connects with your clients, right? So it ends up being this mishmash of how you would describe it, right? Like, do you need to take your complicated SaaS platform and relay its best features to a consumer audience? Or you can say it more playfully. Like, you have to use your own language to describe it. Man, this 2-shirt thing, like, sometimes really bugs me. Okay, I think I fixed it now. This is really important. So we want to use all these things so that when someone reads, like a potential client reads your website, or a potential client reads your LinkedIn, they're like, yes, yes, yes. Like, you get it. You understand what we really struggle with. You understand how hard it is for us to get more sales, or how hard it is for us to explain that this thing is cost effective, or that it's not as complicated as it sounds, or that this thing is for multiple different users. You get it. And then they want to hire you because you get it. They don't have to explain so much to you because they've read on your website, they've read on LinkedIn that you get it. That's really important. I'm going to show you, I think, so I have a new toy, but I set it up so that I can't do a pup date. So I'll have to do that after. They're super cute right now. They're all snuggled up in blankets and looking like little No, don't even start with me. You go back to sleep. Charlotte is already like putting her head up. She's like, I heard the word pup date. All right. Marie says, my challenge is I don't know why this keeps happening, why it decides that it wants to do all bold. I don't know what I did to it. All right. And it's in baby font. It must have been because I messed with it last time. Oh my gosh. No, you go back to your hobbit hole, you sass. Go back to your hobbit hole and lay down in your nice little blanket cocoon. Here you go. Go back and lay down in your nice little blanket cocoon. All right. Marie says, my challenge is I have a couple of different niches, real estate, construction, and manufacturing. How do I speak to them all? Yeah. So, sorry. I'm having a weird week this week. Okay. So here's the deal. When you have different niches, right? So like, let's pick like real estate, construction, and manufacturing are different, but they're all sort of in the same ballpark. If you add something like travel, health tech, and SaaS, like, or fintech, some things that are really, really different. The deal is that you have to speak to them all in different ways. So when you have different niches, my best thing that I've figured out is that you have different questions at the top of your about section on LinkedIn. So you have questions on there that says like, are you a prop tech company that struggles with blah, blah, blah? Or are you a construction company trying to focus on content marketing efforts, but blah, blah, blah keeps on happening? The third one is, or are you a VP of marketing at a manufacturing company that just can't seem to blah, blah, blah? I feel like that's the best way to address all of your things up front. You can say all your different niches up front on LinkedIn in your about section. And those 3 sentences are basically all you get before someone says like, see more. So I think those are really important to ask different questions at the top. Then as you get into your copy, you can combine their issues in your copy. So I find that sometimes what ends up happening is people make different sections. So they say like, this is the construction section, this is the manufacturing section, this is the real estate section. You can do that. You can also kind of combine them and say like, when we work together, and you want to, again, when you're doing this copy, you want to make sure it's collaborative. When we work together, we're going to do these things. When we collaborating with me means blah, blah, blah. We want to talk about that we're a teamwork environment because we want to attract people who treat us like a team member, not an employee. That's super important. So as we go through here, sorry, I've been talking a lot lately. As we go through here in our copy, if you don't want to do separate sections, which I haven't, but it works for other people, you can create different copy in your sections that say, that combine their problems, like whether you struggle with this, this, or this, and you can name each one, like whether you struggle with this thing for real estate, this thing for manufacturing, and this thing for construction, we can do X, Y, Z. So within the copy, right, you would be having a mishmash of things that address different points because sometimes things overlap. Like I said, a lot of times they struggle with things that overlap, like leads, sales, subscribers, clicks, likes, shares, views. Understanding their audience is actually multiple different people or multiple different like targets. And then they always kind of overlap. So like real estate and construction for me, like when I've kind of worked with those clients, they kind of overlap. Manufacturing really depends on the niche. So manufacturing, it depends on if it's like food equipment or if they're manufacturing like lumber or that really matters. So the deal is that the way to save on both, like I think it's only 1,000 words. I think you only get 1,000 words in there. It might be less. But the way to save on words if you don't do those 3 categories is to combine them. Whether you struggle with A, B, C, which is one each thing for each of your niches, we'll be able to do X, Y, Z, which talks about their pain points, right? The other part is that you're talking about what the experience is like working with you in terms of getting results. So you want to combine the results that they could get, like increasing ROI, tracking their KPIs, getting more leads, subscribers, links, shares, views, blah, blah, blah. We want to make sure that we connect all these things together. So I think that's the most important thing is like you have to connect all the things they struggle with, the things that you can help them with, the results you can help them get, and what it's like to work with you in a teamwork environment while also highlighting the things that you're good at, right? I'm really good at taking complicated stuff and making it easy to understand. I'm really good at connecting with multiple different types of audiences through different content pieces. I'm really good at figuring out which types of content resonate most with your audience, or I'm really good at working in SEO strategy to your content. It depends, but that's kind of what we want to do. Like, we want to speak to them all. If you don't do different sections, you can speak to them all in saying things where they combine them into one sentence or a few sentences where you address their overlapping issues. Okay. Marie says LinkedIn has either a 130 or 230 characters before it says see more. Oh, it's characters. Okay. Yeah. So the deal is, you got to get the most eye-catching stuff in the beginning part of the about section on LinkedIn, because that's where you're going to capture your niche, your potential clients in your niche the most. Then the cool thing is when you get to the experience section down at the bottom, that's when you can expand a lot more. You have a lot more space and you can separate everything out. So this is something that I recommend in terms of, Margaret says, I love me a combo. Who doesn't, Margaret? Who doesn't love a combo? I'm going to make this bigger. Maybe I can make it so that like I can actually see it. Okay. So here's the deal. When we're kind of putting all these things together in our about section, that is our most capturing copy. And like, for me, what I did was I wrote my website first, because I don't have a character limit on my website. I can do whatever I want. I wrote my website first, and then I tailored that stuff for LinkedIn. I think that's kind of the best way to go about it. Now, sometimes when we're starting, like I have coaching students and stuff where the website is just like too overwhelming. That's fine. We can start with LinkedIn and do that first. But for me, I need to, like, we've talked about this before. I have to see the whole thing. Like, I have to see the whole pizza before I take a slice. I know I need to know what toppings, what crust. Is it stuffed crust? Is it pan pizza? Like, what are we doing? I need to know. Or is it garlic crust? Like, I need to know what's going on. And then I whittle it down. So that's how my brain works. That isn't how everybody's brain works. So sometimes, especially when a website seems overwhelming, start with LinkedIn, get that copy tailored, then move on to your website. For me, I needed to have my whole website. I needed to build it out. I had this very clear vision in my mind of what I wanted my website to be, what I wanted it to say. And I wanted to do that first and then tailor my LinkedIn. So once you kind of tailor your about section copy in your LinkedIn, that's when you can go to your experience section and set it all out. So your experience section is going to be one section in there that says freelance writing business. Here's my clients I've worked for. Here's the type of work I do. The type of work you do should also be in your about section. Scannable, important. And then you can also talk about whatever you want in your that first box that says, here's my freelance content marketing writing business. Then every box, every section that you add in your experience section after that should be your clients, right? So mine, I have some of my top clients in there. I need to edit it. But every single box you should add it for your clients that you get and say, like, what did you do? Like, what type of work did you do? Why were you doing it, right? Why did someone hire you? Was it because they needed to create more blog posts, which helped them get more traffic? Was it that they were trying to increase their SEO rankings, so they did XYZ content? Was it that they were trying to educate their audience, become a thought leader, get brand awareness, get more clicks, likes, and shares? Why were you doing it? Sometimes they won't tell you. Your clients won't say, like, we're trying to do this. Here are our goals. Even if you ask them, which always ask them what their goals are when you get on a call. But you can always surmise what it is, right? If it's a downloadable, they're trying to get email subscribers. If it's a blog where they say that people can subscribe, that's a subscribe thing. They're trying to build brand awareness. They're trying to get SEO and web traffic. If it's a case study, they're trying to build connections with their audience, right? And they're trying to move people basically from warm lead to like actually talking to them about the product. Case studies are something that is really versatile. They can use it to drive traffic to their website. They can use it to convert people from a lead into an actual sale. It's basically just a giant juicy testimonial. So it's really great. And then we want to kind of talk about what the results were from the project, right? So like, what are we doing? Why are we doing it? What were the results from the project? And this is for every single client you work with. So the results from the project could be like, I helped them create a library of blog posts, or I help them increase the amount of case studies so that they can share them with the sales team to do XYZ. And again, your client won't always tell you what this is, right? Your client won't always tell you what their goals are or why, like, results that happen for it. We kind of have to figure that out. So that goes back to, what is the purpose of a blog post, or what is the purpose of an ebook, or what is the purpose of a case study or a white paper? That you can talk about in your results. Like, well, the point was to do this. The point was to help them do this. And by creating this content, we're hopefully doing that. And we should do that for every single client in our experience section. And that, again, helps people see, right? It helps our potential clients envision what it's like to work with us, what types of projects we do, how we help people, the types of results we get. Because, yeah, sometimes I call them voluptuous testimonials, but yeah, case studies are giant, juicy testimonials. They're giant, voluptuous testimonials. They're really great. What we're trying to do is explain to people that we understand the content and we know what it's supposed to do, and we can actually help people. So in those experience sections, a lot of times people come to you and say, we need a case study. And you're like, okay, what's your goal? And they're like, we have no idea. So if you can explain in there what the result of a case study would be, right? That kind of helps them envision what they could get or what would be happening. If you have actual results, like, hey, they told me that we increased web traffic by 20%, definitely put that in there. But a lot of times people, like, especially nowadays, companies keep a lot of their metrics internally and they don't share them. So you don't know. Now, there's a back end way to do that. So let's talk about that for a second. If you're trying to add more stats and information to your LinkedIn or to your website to say, like, I help them do this, you can use back end tools to do that. So, like, you can use Ubersuggest to do a scan on their website and figure out what their top posts are. Is one of those top posts yours? How many likes, clicks, and shares did it get? You can see that in Ubersuggest or SEMrush or Moz or, excuse me, a bunch of other tools that you can use to see, like, how is that content performing. That's something that you can use on the back end to talk about results. You can also look at their website traffic. So you can say, okay, I know that the only content they've published in the last 3 months has been mine. Well, it looks like their traffic has gone up 200%. Well, that I can write down. You can use these tools. I like Ubersuggest. It's really affordable. You only have to pay for it. Like, if you decide to do the monthly subscription, you can do that. But if you pay for the one-time fee, like, you get all the updates forever, and it's like not super expensive, especially when you're getting a lot for your money. Love Neil Patel's tool. So Ubersuggest is my favorite, and you can pull metrics from that. So you can pull different types of things from reports where it scans different websites. And that's a good way to add results into your LinkedIn copy and into your website, and to kind of help your potential clients see what they could get with you. So I think that's really important. Any questions? Anything we want to go over? Anything that I know that we talked about Marie's stuff a little bit. So if you have questions, you can pop them in the chat. If you're watching this later on, you can always go to mandyellis.com/question, and you can put in a topic you want me to answer or a question. You can be an anonymous question asker. I know I've had a bunch of those on here where people are a little shy about asking their question, or it's a little confidential where they're like, I don't want to put my name on there in case my client sees it. So you can always go to mandyellis.com/question, put it in there. So, okay. Let's talk about green light clients, and let's talk about how often we should update our copy. First, okay, we're going to do a little thing so that I can eventually end up doing a update. So I have a new Okay, my audio's back on. I didn't know when I switched that it would mute my audio. Okay, So here's my whiteboard. I've wanted to have it for a long time because I've wanted to like write things down or have diagrams or show people things, and I just haven't been able to do it. So now I have a whiteboard so that we can write things down. So for example, like if I wanted to write down like pain points, right? So I'd say like pain points. And then like things that attract green light clients, right? So like we're talking about like things that are, let's see if I can get it all on the screen. That would probably be great. Okay. Then I would talk about like, you know, things that green light clients want to hear. Green light clients want to hear about results, right? So they want to hear about results that you get. They want to hear about things that, you know, you're really good at, right? So these are, that's probably like, okay. So like, these are your green light things. They want to hear about results. They want to hear that you understand the content, that you get their niche. I know that I should definitely get an award for my handwriting because it's awful. So there's that. But the other thing is maybe I can make it like more straight because I write on a slant because I'm a freak. So the deal is that I got this whiteboard so I could show you guys diagrams and like hierarchies of things. But basically when we're talking about our green light client things, so our green light clients want to see that you like you understand their like most pressing needs. Right? So they want to know that you understand their most pressing needs. There's a bunch of other things too, but I'm just testing out the whiteboard. And mostly the whiteboard is for diagrams and not for me writing because me writing is totally awful and terrible. But basically when we want to attract our green light clients, we have to show them that like we're on the same wavelength as them. So the deal is that when we, hi, when we're working with our green light clients, when we're attracting our green light clients to LinkedIn and through our website, we have to show them that we get it. Like we are on the same wavelength as them in terms of like, we know what results they want to get. We understand what types of content help them the most. We want to show them that we understand why that content helps them the most or why they struggle with these things or how to get it done. And then we also want to talk about like their most pressing needs. Like maybe they would like to have more subscribers, but what they really need is more sales. Or what they really want is to have more content to explain their complicated product because no one's buying it because they don't understand it. Like every time someone gets on a sales call, it seems like their potential customer is just like, I don't get it. Like, what are you saying to me? So the deal is that, yes, hello. Well, now that we've played with the whiteboard, I guess I can put my thing back and we can have a pup date. So hold on. So the deal is that with green light clients, you have to meet them where they're at to show them that you get it, right? That you get the things that they need help with, that you understand their niche, that you are you are operating with the same goals, that you have enough niche knowledge to talk about the things that they care about. And that you're saying like, yeah, I get it. You do want this, but you also really need to deal with this like right now today. So when we're writing our copy, keep that in mind. Like, who is my ideal client? What are they really struggling with? Like, what is their most pressing problem? Where are they at? Like, where are they at in their mindset? Is my client like, do they already have a product out and they're really just creating more content to get more brand awareness for that product? Or is my ideal client more of like a startup and they're trying to get a content strategy in place so they can start creating content for their product? Or is my client just not very good at marketing themselves and they want to create different types of content to see what works? We have to kind of get into the mind of our ideal client, and I would think about that a bunch. The other thing that helps too is to work with a variety of clients. So this is something that I feel like really helps your copy and really helps you understand who your ideal client is. You have to work, like for me, I get a lot of questions about like, do I interview people for content strategy or do I do all this stuff to get more niche knowledge while I do a strategy or content marketing project? And the answer is no. Like I've already talked to them a ton. I've worked with enough magazines, I've worked with enough different types of clients in my niche to understand that they say the same thing over and over and over again. It just becomes like burned in your brain. So for example, when I do a content strategy project, I've already talked to their client like thousands of times. Like I've done thousands of interviews over the years. And I think that really helps. That's one of the things I love about writing for magazines or online publications or companies that get that they need to have subject matter experts, SMEs, or different types of people interviewed for that content, because it enriches the content, but it also helps everybody get more niche expertise and get more of a dialed in viewpoint. So my recommendation just for your copy is to work with like a bunch of different types of companies in your niche. It's not just like you get to a prop tech company and you're like, I only do residential prop tech. You don't do commercial or leasing or whatever it is. Like, I think a wide variety in your niche really gives you a much richer look at that niche, at potential clients. It allows you to talk to a lot of people and learn a lot of things and get that expertise so that when you write your copy, you're like, oh, I already know they struggle with these things. These things are really important. This thing is happening. That's really important. Let's do a quick update. Hold on. How you doing, Bean? Let's see if we can get everybody on camera. There we go. Almost. There we go. Everybody's having a great day. You guys having a great day? Now we can put our pup date stuff on. Yay! All right. You guys look so cute, all snuggled up today. All right. Good job, buddy. All right, Charlotte, you want to show them your skills? Can you give me a little high five? Good job. Barry, you're just old and geriatric. You don't have to do anything. You've lived long enough that you get to surpass any high fives or magic things that you have to do. All right, that's a dog toy that you see in the corner, that purple thing. That's a dog toy. Sometimes they're in here and I fill up those little rubber things with treats and they run around with them and have a great day. Okay, I can't break that one in half, so hold on. We got to pick a different one. There you go. Here, Bear. Here you go, buddy. Good job. All right. Hey, nobody's blown out today. Everybody's like well lit. I can't believe it. You guys are both pretty well lit. We did it. High five. She's like, I don't want that. She's like, there's nothing in your hand, so I'm not going to give you a high five. Give me a high five and I'll give you something. Yeah, good job. Oh no, did I get the same one that I can't break in half? There you go. There you go, buddy. All right. We're back. All right. So let's talk about how often we should update our copy. So I always feel like you should update your copy whenever you start to more deeply understand your clients. So once you start realizing that they have the same issue and you're like, man, I've been on 4 of these client calls and they keep saying the same thing, write that down and then go put it in your copy, because that will help you attract new clients. That will help you get more people who are on the same wavelength, and then it shows that you get it. So there's that. The other part is, I feel like when you're actively marketing and you're really trying to grow your business, like I would review your copy every 3 to 6 months and then update it. It's a forever thing. So for me, I've updated my copy a bit and I need to do like a total overhaul, which is why I've been avoiding it. But for me, like I update it regularly. Like when I learn things about my clients or I learn things about where I want to go or who I want to work with or how like their pain points might be shifting, I update my copy. I need to update my website and my LinkedIn. It's been a little while, probably like a year or so. But I think when you're really trying to market a bunch and you're getting a lot of stuff and you're getting a lot of information, 3 to 6 months or whenever you get new information from your clients that you think is relevant, put it in there. Or let's say you get a testimonial and that testimonial talks about the results you got for someone, put it in there. Like go put that in your LinkedIn copy. Like make sure that you are like some of my coaching students and some of my freelance writer Wealth Lab students put that in their about section. Is they write some copy, they put in this beautiful testimonial that talks about how well they wrote or the results they got or what it was like working with them. And that like seals the deal a lot of times. So that's always great. I also feel like the updating of your copy really helps with getting your profile more found. Like You can find people's LinkedIn, right? Like you can find it just by searching in searching in Google. So that way, if you keep updating your copy, it helps with SEO. Marie says, a friend of mine updates her website once a week. It can be little things, but she ranks #1 in her category after all the agencies. Yeah. I update my website every time I get a new clip or every time I do a live stream. So I think that's another thing that is really important. Yes, SEO is important, but updating your website with fresh stuff, fresh clips, fresh new client logos, fresh photos, fresh copy, fresh things that you can add, that really helps your ranking a lot. I've had a lot of people, a lot of potential clients over the years tell me like, wow, I can't believe your website is #1 for this. And they're like, you must know a lot about SEO. And I'm like, I mean, I know about SEO, but like, I just update my website regularly. Like, I'm not in there futzing around with SEO. I'm updating it and adding things every week. That I think is really, really important. Every time you get a new clip, make sure you go put it in there. And every time you get a new clip, put it in LinkedIn and figure out which types of clips you want to feature on LinkedIn. That's important too. All right. That's kind of all the stuff I wanted to go through. So if you have any questions, you can pop them in the chat. Or if you feel like if you have questions or things that you want to share, like I'm always interested to hear other people's LinkedIn strategies. So if you have any LinkedIn strategies, feel free to pop them in the comments. I'm always interested to hear about that. Or, you know, what you thought of this. Do you feel like this is helpful? Do you feel like you might get more green light clients? Let me know in the comments. And if you feel like this has, you know, been something you're interested in, feel free to subscribe. Feel free to give it a little thumbs up if you feel like it's been helpful. What? I'm being stared at. I've got a lurker. Why are you lurking? You look like a cute little snow bunny. Hi, guy. Good job. Everybody's wrapped up. You guys have been so quiet today because you've been all wrapped up and snuggly. And the minute I said pup date, I didn't even know you knew that word, Charlotte. I didn't even know you knew the word pup date. And now I do. Now I gotta be careful about that. Here you go, buddy. Oh my goodness gracious. I like your funny ear. I like your little radar ear. Good job, Barry. You're a little far away. It's hard to reach you from over here. Okay, cool. So we have our new whiteboard. Oh, let me know what you think about the whiteboard. If you're watching this at another time, let me know what you think about the whiteboard. I know my handwriting is terrible. The whiteboard is mostly for diagrams and things that I wanted to share before where like I wasn't able to do it. So the whiteboard will not be a handwriting tool because I know my handwriting is really terrible. It always has been terrible. That's just like not one of my resume qualities. But all right, so I'm glad that we all hopped on. I'm glad we talked about this. This is really important. This is really important stuff. Hey, Getty, welcome in. It's nice to see you. This is really important stuff. So when we're talking about our LinkedIn and our website and also our LOIs and pitches, right? If you have something that you feel like is really helpful for the client, like a result or an example, you can always put that in your LOI to attract clients too. Your LOIs and your pitches are really outbound marketing, but you can also attract more responses by putting in a result like, hey, when I worked with a company like yours, I increased their this thing by this amount, or they got this many new leads, or they got this many clicks, likes, and shares, whatever. So I feel like sometimes that's really helpful to put in there. Sometimes people put testimonials in their LOIs. I try to keep it short and simple. So if you have something short and easy to add to your LOI or to your pitch to attract more clients, do it. All right, cool. I think that's all the stuff I wanted to cover. I don't see any questions. We did all of our pup dates. You're such a lurker. Why are you lurking? You're like creeping me out with your little, all right, can you catch it though? Ready? Good job. All right, Bear, ready? 1, 2, 3, dog. You caught it. Good job, buddy. Bear's been having kind of a rough week. We're pretty sure that he's like really losing his hearing at a rapid pace. Ready? 1, 2, 3, dog. Good job, buddy. Close enough. Charlotte, athlete. Charlotte, you're the athlete of the family. I don't know how you do that, but you catch everything so fast. Marie says, when does the Wealth Lab start up again? I love the accountability there when everyone's working on modules. Oh, yes. So Freelance Writer Wealth Lab is my course. So it basically helps you build a high earning freelance writing business. I have 7 modules in there, and it's about to open up. So let's see. Not this week, but next week. No. not next week, the following week, will be my masterclass. My signups for my masterclass will start going. So I do a masterclass only twice a year. And when I do the masterclass, I go through a bunch of different things that can help you earn more money in less time and like not have a stressful freelance life. So the masterclass is going to open up. And then after the masterclass opens up, my course thing will open up. So that'll be open for about 2 weeks. I think it opens, actually not I think it opens. I know it opens. Let me put it down so I have the exact date. So on the 12th. So April 12th is when the doors open to Freelance Writer Wealth Lab. And then the first day of class is April 25th. So between the 12th and the 21st is when you can sign up for Freelance Writer Wealth Lab. Between the 12th, April 12th and April 21st is when you can sign up for the Wealth Lab. And then I'm going to send on April 4th will be when you can sign up for the free masterclass. It's like an hour masterclass where we go over all these different things. It's basically like the appetizer before my course. It's like really cool stuff that I feel like a lot of people don't talk about with freelance writers to kind of help you build your business and actually scale your business. And then the course itself brings you deep into all of the nitty gritty stuff. So on the 4th, if you're on my email list, and you can join my email list this way. So if you get my pricing guide, if you go to mandyellis.com/pricing guide, you get my free pricing guide for freelance writers, and it signs you up for the email list so that you can get all the emails about, like, I also send weekly tips and tricks. So like in addition to this live stream, I send a weekly email with tips and tricks. If you sign up for the pricing guide, you'll be on that email list and you'll be the first one to know about when the masterclass slots open. So that'll open on the 4th, and then we'll have the master classes basically the 11th through, or the 12th through the 21st. The doors of signing up for Freelance Writer Wealth Lab are the 12th through the 21st, and the first day of class is April 25th. So, Annie says, thank you, very helpful. Good, I'm glad. Why did it only make yours large? Why did it make Marie's not large? Why? Okay. Ditto on Wealth Lab question. Okay, cool. Yeah, we need to talk about that. We talked about that. And then Marie says the Wealth Lab, the Wealth Lab is like these classes only supersized. Yeah, so basically like these live streams that we do on LinkedIn on here on YouTube are like the bite-sized tasters of my course. Like within the course, within Freelance Writer Wealth Lab, I go super deep and granular, and we have live Q&As twice a week to make sure we get all the questions answered. You have 7 modules over 10 weeks. So we have implementation weeks to make sure we can actually put things into practice. Marie has been a student. She's gone through the course I think Marie, you've had it for like a year. That's actually really cool. So Marie bought it last year at this time. And then I've allowed like my students to keep re-going through the course. So that means that when you get the course, not only do you get lifetime access, but I've allowed my students to like join the next group. So they all kind of like get to do it together. And that's been really fun. Like there's been a lot of different types of questions, and people really help each other out. Like they answer other questions, or they're like, oh man, I used to struggle with that. And I feel like the community aspect is really helpful to the course as well. Margaret says, will the masterclass be recorded? I'm on a road trip. Margaret, you're going to be on a long road trip. Yes, the masterclasses will be recorded, but you have to sign up. So the masterclasses won't happen till April 12th. So the masterclasses will probably be on April 12th, April 13th, and probably April 20th. That's probably when the free masterclass will be. So it'll probably be April 12th, April 13th, and April 20th. Those are probably the 3 days when I have the free masterclass. Yes, they're going to be recorded, but you have to sign up for the masterclass in order to get the recording. I'm not like sharing it with everybody. I'm only sharing it with people who sign up. So you have to sign up for one of those masterclass spots in order to get the recording. But if you're on a road trip past April 12th, 13th, and 20th, that is a pretty cool road trip, Margaret. So that's kind of neat. Okay, cool. Yeah. Marie says a year. Yeah, it's been really cool. Marie says, I still haven't learned everything. There's so much, and it's so deep and granular. I'm so happy to be there, and I can ask questions when I feel like crying, and there's simple answers that I just go do. Yeah. I mean, that's the whole point. Like for me, when I created the course, it came out of a place of like the things that I really needed and that I saw other writers needing that weren't available. The things that they didn't there were a bunch of processes that freelance writers have to do that just weren't explained deep enough to show you how, not only how to do it, but like why you do it and how to actually change it as you scale your business. That was the thing that really frustrated me, was I felt like there was nothing explaining me like, why am I doing it this way? And also, like, how do I change it like as my business grows? Your business is kind of like a chameleon. It changes over time. So for me, I wanted to make this course something that like, and I wanted to give lifetime access to the course. So when you sign up for the course, you get lifetime access, like for as long as the course lives, which will be a very long time. The deal is that you can keep revisiting it. Like as your business grows, as your business changes, like let's say you hit 60K and you're like, sweet, now what do I do? Or you get to this like roadblock and you're like, now what do I do? I put a lot of things in that course and I continually add to it. So the tech library that comes with the course keeps growing because students are like, can you make a video about this? And I'm like, absolutely. So there's a lot of things that keep growing with you as you grow your business. Vesna says, being able to continue joining is extremely helpful. I love the course. It's like an onion. I just keep peeling it and extracting more amazing information. Yes, that's the whole point. I feel like it's exactly like an onion. Like the first time it's this, okay, this new concept that we're kind of warming up to and figuring out. Cool, let's figure that out. The second step is like, let's try to implement it. How does this actually work in my specific business? The third step is like, okay, this has worked, I need to change these things. And then this continual implementation and changing it is like peeling those onion layers back. I really wanted to make this course so that you could like peel the parts of the onion that made the most sense to you and build a business that made the sense for you. I feel like a lot of courses are just like, everybody should do this all the time. That's fine. That's cool. But everybody's business is so different. Like every time I tried to build one of my friends' businesses, like I'd be like, oh, they're doing really well in this niche or well with this, I should do that. It just fell apart in spectacular fashion. So for me, I feel like this course is this thing, this like living being that you can keep going back to that gives you new information, or you rewatch a lesson and you're like, oh, I missed that the first time. Like I wanted to make sure it's really packed deep with information and that it's something that you continue to get value out of like time and time again. Cool. Okay, great. Thank you guys for the kind words, by the way. So Vesna and Marie are both students of mine. Actually, there's a lot of students of mine. Margaret is a student of mine. Annie is a student of mine. Getty was a student of mine at a different point, at a different course. So it's really nice that you guys have like all these kind things to say. So I really appreciate that. And it's nice to have our little community. Everybody gets to hang out here and learn some cool stuff. So Marie says, if you've ever seen the movie The Librarian, the tech library is kind of like that. Okay. I don't know what the librarian is, but maybe other people do. All right, so I'm glad that we all got to hang out. If you feel like this has been helpful, give it a thumbs up. If you want to learn more about building a high-earning and sustainable freelance writing business, subscribe. The masterclasses are going to open up, so like I said, if you want to know when the masterclass, and it's a free 1-hour masterclass, you can ask me any questions that you want about freelancing at the very end. Go to mandyellis.com/pricing guide. You can get my free pricing guide and you get to sign up for my email list. So you get to know when the free masterclass is open and when my Freelance Writer Wealth Lab doors open. The Wealth Lab only opens twice a year. It's not going to open back up until September. So if you don't do the April class, the next available one won't be until the end of the year. Cool. And Annie says, I've made big progress with Mandy. Highly recommend. Thank you, Annie. I'm so glad that our coaching has been useful. And it's really important to me that everybody kind of gets this like customized coaching to like where you are in your business. So I'm really glad that that's been helpful. And thank you so much for the kind words. All right, everybody. I hope everybody has a great weekend. Like what Vesna said. I hope to see, everybody hanging out on the live stream. If you have a topic or question, you can always put it in mandyellis.com/question. Charlotte will be there. All the pup dates will be there. Ready? One last pup date, then we're gonna... Oh, I can't break it in half. There we go. High five. Good job. Ready, buddy? 1, 2, 3, dog. Oh, I almost caught it. Good job, buddy. Good job. All right. Thanks so much for hanging out, everybody. Have a great weekend, and